Hello everybody, welcome to All TV Everything. I am Joshua and I'm so glad you decided to watch this video. This is my very first video on the channel. I'll probably make another video going into detail about like why I started this channel and what I want to use it for and some of the cool things I plan to do with this channel. But in short, I just wanted to do this channel because I don't know, I love TV stuff, and there are tons of other channels out there that go over every other aspect of entertainment, and even the ones that do go over television stuff, it's mostly just like reviews of current things, which is awesome. I still enjoy that too, but I probably won't be doing any reviews unless like you guys want it, but I probably won't be doing reviews. But yeah, it's basically gonna be like just everything about television, so that's the name, All TV Everything. But yeah, so stick around for tons of cool stuff. I have a lot of cool things planned, and especially because I've been kind of thinking about working on ideas for the channel for a long time, so I figure now is as good a time any to launch it, especially since like the Primetime Emmy nominations were just announced today, so I figured like might as well get the channel going now, so when the actual Primetime Emmys do launch in like, what, 2 months, I think. But yeah, the channel will be going full force, and hopefully I can have a few viewers and a few people will be here, you know. But yeah, like I said, let's get started. All right, so the very first episode, I'll be going over everything Primetime Emmys. I'm gonna go over how the Emmys were started, who came up with the idea, how the voting works, how shows are nominated, how the actual award show works, and when it airs, and even dive a little bit into the history of like that very first Emmy ceremony, and then like going over a quick history of like some of the awards, like the biggest like winners and you know, things like that. Then possibly go into a few memorable moments, and then go from there. All right, so let's get started. Topic number one, how the Emmys got started. So back in the 1940s, when TV was still kind of new, like black and white kind of new with the antennas. Back in the 1940s, there was this guy named Sid Cassidy. He thought like, this TV stuff is pretty cool. I want to create an organization that recognizes people that make and create cool TV things. And so Sid created the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences in 1946. He made it in LA, and then a few years after that, he figured like, you know, let's do an award show. And so he came up with the Emmy Awards. It's kind of cool too, because like when they originally came up with it, Emmys was spelled with the I, not like how it is with the E now. Apparently it was short for a part in like their early TV cameras. It was something called the image orthicon tube. That was a part in the old television cameras that make them work. And so Sid and engineer, they like came up with the clever idea to like name the awards after that part, which is pretty cool. Eventually they changed the I to an E because the statue. So like the silhouette, the lady on the Emmy statue, they felt the E matched her as a name better. I'm not sure. So I mean, that's pretty cool though. So that's how it went from I to E. First ceremony happened in 1949, and it only included like LA-based shows because the national scale wasn't that big yet, but the national stuff came a little bit later. All right, so section 2, who created the Emmys? Like I said, it was the guy named Sid Cassidy. He was the one who came up, he launched the Academy of Television, you know, all that stuff. And he created the idea for the award show. And so he reached out to a guy named Louis McManus. McManus is kind of a cool name, but he was a TV engineer and he designed the Emmy statue. Cool fact, he kind of like, he designed the statue silhouette and shape after his wife, so that's kind of nice. It's kind of sweet too. I'm not married yet, but I don't know, if I create something, I'll design it after my wife. I know my girlfriend watching, baby, I love you. But yeah, I would design something after her. I don't know what I would design though. I don't know, I'm getting off topic. Let's get back to the Emmys. Okay, so Sid and Louis got together with a few other people in the Academy, and the Academy figured out what awards should be about and how to build something that would actually matter in the industry. So that was pretty cool. All right, section number 3, who votes on the Emmys? Okay, so it's not just random people or critics. The voters are all people who are part of the Television Academy and people that actually work in the industry. So it's like the actors, writers, directors, editors, makeup artists, sound designers, like the whole crew, which is pretty cool because it's like, I don't know, like I said, it's not just tied to only the critics or not even just tied to like just the big names that's attached. So having like everybody from the whole crew like be able to like vote, I think that's pretty awesome. So the voting is kind of cool. Like I said, it involves everybody, but like everybody kind of vote in their peer group. So the actors vote on the actors, and then the writers vote on the writers, and you know, so on. So I think that's pretty fair to let people in that peer group kind of dictate it. So that's kind of cool. The first round is for nominations. Each peer group picks who they think deserve a shot. And then once the nominees are announced, everyone votes in the final round to decide the winners. That's kind of cool. I like that. Because I was a little confused about when I saw that it was the peer group versus peer group. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know at all. But anyway, I like that everybody votes in the second round. They do all the voting through a secure platform where they can watch all of the submissions, which is helpful because that's like a lot of content out right now. So imagine it's basically like the Academy has their own little streaming service, and everything that's nominated, they put it on there. And so all the people that are allowed to vote, they can just go watch that service, like watch everything on that platform, which is pretty cool. If you search, you can kind of find some of those like for your consideration platforms or like streaming apps. I haven't checked before, but I've found a couple a few years back, like on the Apple TV. I don't know, it might still be on there. I gotta check. I downloaded them, even though of course everybody can't have access to them. You know, you have to have the credentials to log in. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of pretty cool and easy. I think they also used to send out hard copies, like they used to send out DVDs and stuff. So I guess that's just easier and convenient now to just host their own platform. Section number 4, how shows get nominated. So first, the show has to be eligible, which just means it has to have aired between June the 1st of the previous year and May the 31st of that current year. So just, you know, come out in that window and then you're eligible. And then the people behind the show, usually the network, the studio, or the production company, they submit it to the Academy and choose which categories they want to enter in. There is a fee for entry, of course, so I wonder how much that fee is. I'm gonna try to look for that fee. If I can find it, we'll put it right here. My editor will put it right here. If nothing's right there, then I couldn't find the fee. After the submissions, the entries get reviewed and sorted into categories like drama, comedy, variety, limited series, and all the technical stuff. Each peer group gets to vote for nominations in their categories. So like I said, that's pretty cool. So editors aren't voting on acting and actors aren't voting on sound design, which is pretty cool because when it comes to like the nominations for that category, you want it to be those people in that category. So but like I said, I like how after that, in that next round, everybody gets to vote. Once all the votes are in, the top entries become the official nominees, usually about 5 to 7 per category. So after the official nominees are announced, then it's time for the official voting. And then of course the winners are announced during the live show. Okay, so like, when's the deadline for everything? I'll have it pop up here on the screen, but the timeline usually works like July 1st through May 31st. That's the eligibility window. So the show has to have aired then. And then early June is the deadline to submit your entries. So that's the deadline to submit for the networks and, you know, the people behind the show to submit it. Mid to late June, nomination voting's open. Then early July, nominees are announced, which was what happened today. We're like right in the middle of July too. And then in August, the final voting happens. And then in mid to late September, the ceremony airs live. And these dates kind of shift a little bit year to year, especially if something big happens, like in 2023 with the labor strike. It mostly sticks to the same thing, you know? All right, the next category or next section, where do the Emmys actually air? Okay, so the Emmys kind of bounce between, you know, the big four networks, you know, your ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. They kind of rotate each year and take turns hosting. So you can stream it too on the network's website or app, sometimes through other streaming services as well. So that's pretty cool because I don't think a lot of people have like regular cable or over the air stuff anymore. Which, I don't know, I kind of want an over the air kind of thing again because living here in the city, like the tuner that's built into my TV, it picks up the over the air stuff, but which is pretty cool, but I just still stick to streaming. But I don't know, I might do a video on that tuner stuff and like antennas and stuff, because I think that's pretty cool that we can still watch stuff like that and not even really have to pay. And the quality is pretty good too, especially with like some of these newer antennas. So that's another episode though. I won't go off on a tangent with that. But yeah, so let's go into the next category. All right, now for this next section, we're gonna go over the very first Emmy ceremony, which is pretty cool. The first ceremony happened July the 25th, 1949. Jesus Christ, that's a long time ago. It happened at the Hollywood Athletic Club in LA. And like I said, it focused strictly only on like local LA programming since national shows weren't like a big thing back then. The very first host was someone named Walter O'Keefe. I don't know, that name O'Keefe sounds kind of cool. Walter O'Keefe was a popular television and radio personality at the time.
Oh, and I've got a marvelous studio where I practice alone in the nudio, just like this. Fa sol la.
The first winner of the very first ceremony was someone named Shirley Dinsdale. She was a ventriloquist who starred in a children's show called Judy Splinters. Judy Splinters. I like that. She won for Most Outstanding Television Personality. Also, another notable win that night for the show to win the most popular program at the time was something called Pantomime Quiz. I never heard of that. I gotta look that up. I might do something on that too, on like old shows. I'm thinking of doing like a series for stuff through the decade, so I don't know, we'll see. Next category is my favorite. I love numbers. I love getting into the numbers. That stuff interests me, like the ratings, and also I'm gonna do an episode on like television ratings and how they work and how they're calculated. So be on the lookout for that, especially with this weirdness with streaming in recent years. All right, so let's see. The total number of ceremonies as of 2024 are 75. So there's been 75 Emmy ceremonies. The most watched Emmys was one from 1978. It had 36 million viewers. Wow. That's kind of crazy. 36 million for 1978. I don't know, is that? You would think that would be a little higher. I know like some of the biggest episodes of Big Bang Theory or even like Game of Thrones, they easily pulled in like that amount. Be on the lookout for episodes for them too. I'm gonna plug all the new stuff, y'all. Let's see, the networks with the most wins. Of course, HBO has over 550 wins. NBC has over 400 wins. CBS has over 350 wins. ABC has 300 wins. And Netflix has over 150 wins. And they're climbing like crazy thanks to the streaming era. Now let's go over the shows with the most wins. Saturday Night Live has the most Emmys ever to date with 87 wins. Game of Thrones is the next in line with 59 wins. And The Simpsons is next with 35 wins. That's crazy. It makes sense that Saturday Night Live had like that many wins because like when you look at their category, they've been dominant in that category, so that makes sense. And you can see how that leads to NBC having all those wins that they have too. But anyway, so yeah, let's keep going. The actor with the most wins is Ed Asner. He's won 7 Emmys, mostly for the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And the actress with the most wins is Julia Louis-Dreyfus with 8 Emmys. That's awesome. 6 of her wins came from playing one character. Her character from Veep, which is pretty cool. She went on a heck of a run with that show. I can't wait to do more episodes on other shows and then actors and actresses and producers and networks. So that's gonna be pretty cool. All right, the next category, the hosts. Let's go over the hosts. Some hosts come back more than once, and so like some repeat hosts are, at least right now with the leading, Johnny Carson hosted 4 times in the 70s. Jimmy Kimmel hosts 3 times. In 2012, 2016, and 2020. And Neil Patrick Harris hosted twice in 2009 and 2013. And then a few other people that don't have the years for them, like Conan O'Brien, Ryan Seacrest, and Jane Lynch. I remember a lot of the ones from like that whole 2006 to like 2015 era. I don't know, I was like really deep into it then, so that's kind of cool. I'm not sure who my favorite host. I mean, I love Conan. Conan is like my favorite like late night television host. Like I used to love Conan's show. Like, I don't know. I gotta go back and see. But out of all those hosts, like, I think I would like Conan the best. Alright, so now let's check out some of the most memorable moments in the Emmy history. Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul taking home awards for Breaking Bad's final season in 2014. Listen, I know I love TV, but I gotta get in. I gotta watch Breaking Bad. I missed it. There were a lot of other things to watch in 2014. Plus, I was just busy with a lot of other stuff. So there are a lot of stuff that I didn't get a chance to check out when it was actually happening. But yeah, I gotta check out Breaking Bad. That's dope though that like they both won on the final season. I think that's pretty cool. Another memorable moment was in 2015 when Viola Davis made history, becoming the first Black woman to win lead actress. So that's pretty cool. Another memorable moment was Schitt's Creek sweeping the comedy categories. Like every comedy award went to Schitt's Creek. That's awesome. That happened in 2020. All right, everybody, well, there you have it. That was everything on the Primetime Emmys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Like I said, this is the very first video, so like bear with me while I try to figure out how to make everything run smooth and get everything going nice. But I have a lot of cool stuff planned. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at All TV Everything. Also, I opened the subreddit so you can go there to talk about, you know, all TV stuff. And I even opened the Discord. So I really want to build a TV community here with everybody, and so we can, I don't know, have somewhere to go talk about all the new stuff. And like if you love TV too, so I'm going to be checking all of those things on a regular basis. So be sure to give them a look. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.